The flames swallowed the car whole, thick black smoke twisting into the night sky. The heat pulsed against my face as I stood frozen, my brain refusing to catch up. That was Tyler's car. It took me less than a second to put it all together. Emily's gym buddy. The guy she swore was just a friend. The one I'd seen in our driveway before, smirking like he belonged here. My heart slammed against my ribs as I turned toward the house. The door was unlocked. My feet barely touched the floor as I pushed inside, breath short, blood hot. Clothes were everywhere. A man's shirt draped over the couch, jeans crumpled near the stairs. A red dress, the one she wore on our anniversary, lay in a careless heap on the floor. Upstairs, muffled voices. A giggle. My stomach twisted. I took the stairs 2 at a time, slammed the bedroom door open so hard it rattled on its hinges. Emily was tangled in the sheets, blonde hair spilling over bare shoulders. Her lips parted in shock, eyes wide with guilt. Tyler was already scrambling off the bed, grabbing for his jeans, like a rat caught in the light. The air was thick with perfume and sweat. She opened her mouth, but I didn't want to hear it. The lamp flew before I even realized I'd grabbed it, shattering against the wall inches from Tyler's head. He flinched, arms up, stammering something about a mistake. Emily clutched the sheets like they could save her, shaking her head, already ready to spin another lie. I wasn't listening. This wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. In my house, in my bed, with a man who thought he could walk in and take what was mine. I stepped forward, and for the first time in my life, I didn't care what happened next. Tyler's hands were up like he thought that would stop me. The guy had the nerve to act scared now. After all the smirks, all the little comments. My chest heaved, fists clenched so tight my nails dug into my palm. My breathing was sharp, fast. Everything inside me screamed to rip this bastard apart. Emily moved first. Babe, Babe. The word snapped something inside me. I lunged. Tyler tried to duck, but he was too slow. My fist connected with his jaw, sending him sprawling back onto the bed. He groaned, clutching his face, but I wasn't done. Wait, man, it's not. He tried to get up. Another punch, this time to his ribs, and he collapsed back, wheezing. Emily shrieked. Stop it. Stop. She grabbed my arm, nails digging into my skin. You're overreacting. Overreacting? I turned to her, my chest rising and falling like I'd just run a marathon. She was standing there, wrapped in the sheets, acting like I was the problem. Like she wasn't the one caught with another man in our bed. Are you serious right now? My voice was shaking, but not from fear. From rage. You're standing here, half naked, with him, and I'm the one overreacting? Emily crossed her arms over her chest, shifting her weight to one leg, like she was annoyed. Look, it just happened, okay? You were gone, and I was lonely, and I laughed. A sharp, humorless sound. Lonely? You were lonely? I gestured at Tyler, who was still groaning on the bed. So you thought, hey, let me call the biggest loser I know and let him screw me in my husband's house? Tyler coughed. Dude, I turned on him so fast he flinched. Shut your damn mouth before I break your teeth. He did. Emily huffed, rolling her eyes. Rolling her eyes. Okay, you're being dramatic. I took a step toward her. I walked in on you cheating. In my house. In my bed. And you have the audacity to act like it's nothing? She sighed, like this whole thing was exhausting for her. I mean, come on, what did you expect? You're always working, always away. I needed attention. And Tyler was just there. She shrugged. Shrugged. Like this was a minor inconvenience. Like I had caught her sneaking a cookie before dinner. Something inside me snapped. Not in an explosive way, no yelling, no punching walls. Just, cold. Ice in my veins. My whole body felt lighter, like I had just realized something incredibly simple. I didn't love her anymore. I thought the pain would crush me, that I'd fall apart under the weight of it. But standing there, looking at her, I felt nothing but disgust. I let out a slow breath. Get out. Emily blinked. What? I pointed to the door. Both of you. Out. Now. She scoffed. Are you serious? You're kicking me out? I'm kicking both of you out, I said evenly. Get your things and leave. Tyler sat up, rubbing his jaw. Dude, I don't think. I grabbed him by the collar, yanking him to his feet. I don't care what you think. Get out before I change my mind about letting you leave in one piece. He nodded frantically, stumbling as I shoved him toward the door. Emily stayed planted where she was. This is my house too, she snapped. Not anymore. Her mouth opened, then closed. She looked at me, searching my face, like she was trying to find some weakness. Some part of me that still cared. I had none left. She exhaled sharply, grabbing the dress off the floor and yanking it on. Fine, she muttered. But you're gonna regret this. I smiled. Not a chance. Tyler was already halfway down the stairs. Emily followed, stomping like a spoiled brat. I didn't move until I heard the front door slam behind them. And then? Silence. Just me, standing in the wreckage of what used to be my marriage. I let out a breath. Then another. My hands were still shaking. My whole body was still wired, adrenaline buzzing under my skin. But I felt calm. This wasn't the end. Not by a long shot. Emily thought she had won. That she could just walk out and get away with it. She had no idea what was coming. I stood there in the empty house, the walls echoing with the silence they left behind. The sheets were still tangled from their little escapade, the scent of cheap cologne and her perfume still hanging in the air. My hands trembled, my jaw clenched so hard it ached. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. I wasn't the type to sit around and cry over betrayal. No, I had spent years providing, building, sacrificing. And she? She threw it all away for a loser who drove a second-hand Mustang and probably couldn't spell the word commitment. She wanted to play games? Fine. I'd end the game before she even knew it had begun. I grabbed my phone and made the first call. Hey, Mike. I need a favor. Mike was my divorce attorney's older brother, a guy who specialized in corporate takedowns, but he loved getting involved in personal cases just for the thrill of it. Within 5 minutes, I had everything I needed. Emily wouldn't see a cent from me. I had protected my assets long ago, thanks to a little prenup she'd signed without a second thought when she was too busy flaunting the diamond ring I had put on her finger. Then, I made the second call. Yo, Adam. You still got access to the gym security feeds? Adam was the manager at the fitness center where Emily claimed to be getting back in shape. I had a gut feeling her training sessions involved a lot more sweating than cardio workouts. Adam was hesitant at first, but a little push, and the reminder that Tyler had been trash-talking him behind his back, sealed the deal. 30 minutes later, my inbox pinged with video files. I pressed play. There she was. My wife, wrapped around Tyler like a damn prom date behind the squat racks. Kissing. Whispering. Sitting on his lap in the break room. My blood ran cold, but I kept my head clear. This was evidence. Evidence I could use. Emily had no idea the war she just started. The setup. An hour later, my plan was in motion. First, I packed all her belongings. Clothes, shoes, makeup, everything. Stuffed it into trash bags. There was no way I was letting her come back here, even to grab a toothbrush. Then, I changed the locks. By the time she realized she was locked out, I'd already be 3 steps ahead. Next, I sent Tyler a text, using Emily's phone. "Hey babe, can we talk? Meet me at the place we always go. Need to clear my head." Classic. Manipulative. Just like something she'd actually say. 15 minutes later, I got a reply. "Of course, baby. See you soon. Red heart." I smirked. Perfect. The ambush. I arrived first, sitting in the farthest booth of the dimly lit bar where Emily and Tyler thought they were being so discreet. I'd been here before, alone, while she was out with the girls. The bartender, Rick, gave me a nod. He knew the story by now. And then, right on time, Tyler strutted in. He looked around, expecting to see Emily. Instead, his eyes landed on me. I watched his whole expression shift. The confidence? Gone. The smirk? Wiped off his face. His Adam's apple bobbed as he swallowed hard. I gestured to the seat across from me. "Sit." For a second, he hesitated, like his brain was trying to process whether running was an option. He must have realized it wasn't because, with a stiff nod, he lowered himself into the chair. He tried to play it cool. "Look, man, I slid my phone across the table. The screen lit up with a paused frame, Emily, in his lap, her arms around his neck. His hands were exactly where I thought they'd be. He went pale. I leaned in, voice low. "You're gonna do exactly what I say. Or I promise, you'll regret ever stepping foot in my house." Tyler's eyes darted around like a rat looking for an escape. "Man, I swear, I didn't mean for it to happen like this." I cut him off. "You're going to break up with her. Publicly. Right now. You're going to text her that it's over, that she's not worth the trouble, and that she should never contact you again." His fingers twitched. "She's gonna be pissed." I tilted my head. "That's not my problem, is it?" He hesitated. I grabbed my phone again, tapping the screen. The video switched to another clip, one from just last week. Emily, slipping into the gym supply closet with another guy. Not Tyler. His jaw clenched. I smirked. "Yeah. Didn't think you were the only one, did you?" His face went red with anger. Then, without another word, he pulled out his phone and started typing. I watched as he sent the breakup message. 3 seconds later, Emily's name flashed on his screen, calling him. He looked at me. I shook my head. He let it ring. Then, another message popped up. "Emily, are you serious? What the hell? You don't get to dump me." Another. "Emily, you're nothing without me, you piece of trash." And another. "Emily, I swear to God, you'll regret this." I leaned back, satisfied. Good. Now get out of my sight. Tyler didn't need to be told twice. He bolted from the bar like his life depended on it. I sat there for a moment, sipping my drink, watching Emily's messages come in one after another. She was unraveling. And I wasn't done yet. Emily's texts kept rolling in, one after another, her desperation practically oozing through the screen. "Emily, you're making a huge mistake, Tyler. Emily, you really think you can just walk away from me? Emily, answer me." I chuckled, swirling the whiskey in my glass as the bartender, Rick, shot me a look. "Bad night?" he asked, already knowing the answer. "Nah," I said, smirking. "Best night in a long time." I let the phone vibrate itself to death on the table before finally picking it up. I tapped into Emily's contact and fired off a single message. Me, I know everything. Hope it was worth it. Then, I blocked her. I could almost picture the explosion happening on the other end, her pacing, cursing, throwing things in a blind rage. Emily had always been a control freak. She loved playing people, bending them to her will, making them dance to whatever tune she felt like playing that day. And now? She had lost all control. I downed the last sip of whiskey, placed a few bills on the bar, and walked out. I had work to do. The aftermath hits her. The next morning, I got the call I'd been expecting. Emily. Not on my phone, she was still blocked. No, she had to get creative. Caller ID, unknown number. I let it ring twice before answering. Speak. For the first time in years, she sounded nervous. We need to talk. I almost laughed. Talk? About what? How you got caught screwing around. She sucked in a sharp breath. Don't be childish. Let's just sit down like adults. Adults? I scoffed. You had your chance to be an adult when you were spreading your legs for Tyler. But sure, Emily. Let's talk. Let's talk about how you're not getting a damn dime from me. Let's talk about how you're locked out of the house. Let's talk about. You can't do that, she snapped, all pretense of calm shattering. That house is mine too. No, it's not, I said smoothly. Not when you signed the prenup without reading it. Silence. Delicious, thick silence. Then, a sharp exhale. You think you're so smart, she hissed. You think you've won? I don't think, Emily. I smiled. I know. Her breathing was ragged, like she was barely holding it together. I swear, you're going to regret this. No, Emily. The only one with regrets here is you. I hung up. Destroying her safety net. Next step, cutting off all her lifelines. Emily wasn't just losing a husband. She was losing everything. First, I called our joint bank and removed her from the account. Then, I contacted my lawyer to ensure that she legally had no claim to anything, house, cars, investments. All mine. Then, for the fun part. I made a few calls to mutual friends, friends I knew had no patience for cheaters. Me, just a heads up. If Emily reaches out to you for a place to stay, you might want to check under the bed for her next side piece. The replies came in fast. Mark, no F******ing way. She did that to you? What a snake, asterisk. Tasha, I knew she was shady. I'll spread the word. She's not getting any sympathy from me. Jared, she's done. No one's gonna help her after this. Good. Emily loved being adored. She thrived on attention, validation, admiration. Now? She was alone. The public meltdown. 2 days passed. The silence was bliss. No screaming, no lying, no sneaking glances at her phone when she thought I wasn't looking. Then, she snapped. It started with a Facebook post. Emily Dawson, some people are so fake. After everything I've done, I get treated like garbage. Guess it's true what they say, never trust a man who acts perfect. He's just hiding his true self. The comments were brutal. Lisa, didn't you cheat? Brandon, LMAO. Imagine trying to play the victim when you got caught. Sophie, this is embarrassing, girl. Just take the L and go. She tried to fight back, replying to a few comments, but the internet doesn't forget. Screenshots of her gym affair started circulating. Someone even posted the security footage. By the next morning, she had deleted her account. I sat back in my chair, stretching my arms over my head. Checkmate. The last play. A week later, I got the final piece of the puzzle. An old coworker of Emily's, Madison, sent me a message. Madison, hey. I don't know if you care, but Emily is trying to move in with Tyler. She's begging him to take her back. I grinned. Is she now? Madison sent another message. Madison, he rejected her. Hard. Told her she was too much drama. I laughed out loud. Tyler, the same guy who thought sneaking around with another man's wife made him a big shot, had dumped her too. Now, Emily had nothing. No husband. No lover. No money. No home. I sent one final text, using a burner number. Me, enjoy your new life, Emily. You built it yourself. No reply. But I knew she saw it. I put my phone down, took a deep breath, and stepped outside. The sun felt warmer, the air fresher. For the first time in years, I felt free. And I wasn't looking back. The silence was bliss. No more calls, no more screaming, no more fake apologies dripping with manipulation. Emily had been wiped off the board. For days, I felt lighter, freer. I didn't have to check over my shoulder, didn't have to wonder if the woman lying next to me at night was secretly laughing behind my back. But I wasn't done yet. Emily thought she could crawl back to Tyler, that maybe, just maybe, she could salvage some part of her old life. But when he tossed her aside like the used-up toy she was, she lost it completely. It started with small things. A few unknown numbers trying to call my phone. I never answered. Then, she tried showing up at my office. Big mistake. I was in the middle of a meeting when the receptionist buzzed me. Sir, your wife is here. She's making a scene. I leaned back in my chair, suppressing a grin. Ex-wife. Right. Do you want me to call security? I checked the cameras. There she was, standing in the lobby, wild-eyed, wearing some cheap hoodie like she hadn't slept in days. She looked nothing like the woman who used to strut around, acting like she owned the world. It was pathetic. I grabbed my phone and made a quick call. 2 minutes later, 2 security guards escorted her out, kicking and screaming. The next time she tried, I had already put a restraining order in place. Emily Dawson was officially locked out of my life. Her public downfall. Her desperation only made her spiral harder. She tried another social media stunt, claiming I had abused her, that I was controlling and financially manipulative. Too bad for her, I had receipts. Screenshots. Bank statements. Messages from her to multiple guys, some from long before Tyler. I didn't even have to post them. My friends did the work for me. The moment she started playing the victim, the floodgates opened. Jessica, girl, sit down. You cheated. Take the L. Mark, didn't you say your husband was too nice? LMAO, guess you miss him now. Anna, oh, honey, if you're gonna lie, at least try harder. She deleted her post in less than an hour. By the time I checked her account again, she was gone. Rock bottom. 2 weeks passed. I had almost forgotten about her. Then, the final update came in. A buddy of mine, Jared, sent me a text. Jared, yo. You're not gonna believe this. I raised an eyebrow. Me, try me. He sent a screenshot. It was a GoFundMe link. Emily Dawson, starting over fund. I clicked it. She was begging for money. The description was pure comedy gold. After a difficult and unexpected divorce, I have been left without a home or financial security. I need help getting back on my feet and finding a place to live. Every dollar helps. 0 donations. I burst out laughing. She was truly, completely, utterly done. No friends. No family willing to help her. No more safety net. Just consequences. My final move. That night, I sat back in my chair, sipping a glass of whiskey. I pulled out my phone and, for the first time since this whole disaster started, unblocked her number. Her name lit up on my screen. I typed out one last message. Me, you don't deserve a fresh start. You deserve every single thing that's happened to you. Have a nice life, Emily. Blocked. I exhaled, feeling the last of her grip on my life finally shatter. Emily Dawson was nothing but a memory now. And I had never felt better. For the first time in years, I had peace. No more lies. No more late nights wondering if the woman next to me was really where she said she was. No more gut-wrenching doubts. Just silence. And I loved it. Work was smoother. My workouts felt better. I even started going out again, meeting new people, testing the waters of what life could be like without a cheating parasite sucking the energy out of me. But snakes don't just disappear. They slither back when they're starving. It had been over a month since I'd last heard anything about Emily. I assumed she had finally crawled into whatever gutter she belonged in. Then, one evening, I got a text from an unknown number. Unknown, hey. Can we talk? I stared at the message for a second, feeling zero emotion. I knew exactly who it was. I didn't reply. A few minutes later, another message. Unknown, I just need to see you. Please. She had to be joking. I blocked the number without a second thought and tossed my phone onto the couch. But it didn't stop there. The next morning, I stepped outside to grab my coffee order from the porch, and there she was. Emily. Sitting on the steps of my house, like she belonged there. Her hair was a mess. The once flawless face that used to demand attention now looked tired, hollow. She was wearing an oversized hoodie, probably stolen from one of her many friends. For a second, she just looked at me, eyes glossy like she wanted to cry. I took a slow sip of my coffee. Leave. She swallowed hard. Can we just? No. She hesitated. I don't have anywhere to go. I stared at her, deadpan. Sounds like a you problem. Her lips trembled. I made a mistake. I actually laughed. A real, genuine laugh. A mistake? I gestured toward the street. Oh, which part? The part where you humiliated me? The part where you got caught screwing another guy in our bed? Or maybe the part where you tried to play the victim when everyone turned against you? She shifted, wrapping her arms around herself. I didn't mean for things to go this way. I rolled my eyes. Yeah, I bet. Let me guess, you thought you'd get away with it. That I'd just forgive and forget like some spineless idiot? She bit her lip. I miss you. I smirked. There it was. The final, desperate play. You don't miss me, Emily, I said, stepping forward. You miss the life I gave you. The comfort. The security. The house, the money, the status. You don't miss me, you miss what I provided. She shook her head. That's not true. I cut her off. Emily. I looked her dead in the eyes. I don't want you. You mean nothing to me. The words hit her like a slap. Her eyes widened, lips parting as if she couldn't believe I actually meant it. Good. I leaned in slightly, lowering my voice. Go crawl back to one of your boyfriends. Oh wait, they don't want you either, do they? Tears pooled in her eyes, but I felt nothing. She whispered, you were the best thing that ever happened to me. I smiled. I know. Then I stepped back and shut the door in her face. I didn't watch her leave. Didn't check if she was crying, if she was angry, if she was standing there waiting for me to change my mind. Because I didn't care. Emily Dawson was out of my life. For good. I sat on the couch, staring at the door where Emily had just stood, her final, desperate words still hanging in the air. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah. No S asterisk asterisk asterisk. She thought those words would undo everything. That I'd see the regret in her eyes, feel sorry for her, maybe even let her back in. Not a chance. The moment I closed that door, I knew, this was the last time she would ever step foot in my life. I grabbed my phone, checked the cameras. She was still standing on the porch, arms wrapped around herself like a lost puppy. Pathetic. She had no backup plan. No safety net. Every man she had used, manipulated, tossed aside like garbage, they had all done the same to her in the end. Karma was AB asterisk 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 asterisk, wasn't it, Emily? I let her stand there. Let her process the reality she had created for herself. Then, I made a call. Yeah, I need someone escorted off my property. 15 minutes later, a black SUV pulled up. Two guys stepped out, both built like brick walls. Emily's eyes widened, and she finally got the message. She turned, hurried down the driveway, and disappeared down the street. I leaned back on the couch, exhaling slowly. That was it. The final nail in the coffin. She was gone. For good. Moving forward, without her. The days after felt peaceful. No unexpected calls. No unknown numbers. No dramatic public meltdowns. I changed my routines, got back into the things I had put on hold for too long. Boxing, working out, late-night drinks with actual friends instead of fake dinner dates where I had to pretend I didn't see my wife constantly checking her phone. I even started talking to someone new. Not seriously, just testing the waters. A bartender at one of my usual spots, dark hair, bright eyes, zero red flags. The kind of woman who didn't play games. For the first time in a long time, I felt like me again. Emily's final act of desperation. But snakes never die easy. A few weeks later, just when I thought I'd seen the last of her, Emily found a new angle. I was at work when my lawyer called. She's filing for spousal support. I actually laughed. Out loud. Are you serious? Dead serious. He sighed. She's claiming financial hardship, stating she was emotionally manipulated into signing the prenup. I smirked. So she's broke and desperate. Pretty much. She was really grasping at straws now. Too bad for her, I was 10 steps ahead. Let her try, I said. The prenup is ironclad. Exactly, my lawyer agreed. This won't even make it to court. I shook my head, amused. She really thought she could pull a last-minute money grab? Emily had no case. No evidence. Nothing. But she wasn't done yet. Her last, miserable play. The next morning, I woke up to another text from an unknown number. Unknown, can we please just talk? One last time? I stared at the screen for a second, then did something I hadn't done in a while. I replied. There's nothing left to say. Her response came fast. Emily, I messed up. I know that. But I've changed. I just need help getting back on my feet. I smirked. There it was. The real reason she was reaching out. She didn't miss me. She missed what I could do for her. Not my problem. Emily, please, just one conversation. Meet me? Anywhere you want. Just 5 minutes. I sighed, debating. Maybe it was better to end this face to face. Maybe if she saw me, if she realized just how little I cared anymore, she'd finally give up. So I agreed. Fine. One last time. The final goodbye. We met at a small cafe, one that used to be her favorite. She was already there when I arrived, sitting at a table in the corner, looking smaller than I remembered. She forced a smile when she saw me. Hey. I sat down, saying nothing. Her hands fidgeted on the table. You look good. I leaned back in my chair. Cut to the chase. Her lips pressed together. I just want to say I'm sorry. I tilted my head, unimpressed. For what, exactly? She swallowed hard. For everything. For taking you for granted. For lying. For. I held up a hand. Save it. Her face twisted in frustration. I'm trying here. No, you're not. I exhaled sharply. You're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry you lost. Her eyes flared. That's not true. I scoffed. It is, though. If I took you back, if I handed you money, if I gave you everything you lost, you'd forget this conversation ever happened. Silence. She didn't deny it. I stood up. This was a mistake. She grabbed my wrist, desperation flickering in her eyes. Wait, please. Just, tell me one thing. I stared down at her. Do you ever think about what we had? She whispered. Do you miss it? I smiled. Not a warm smile. A cold, final one. No, I said simply. Not even for a second. Her face crumbled. I pulled my arm away and walked out. She didn't follow. She didn't call my name. She just sat there, staring after me, finally realizing it was over. For good. I didn't look back. Walking out of that cafe, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. Not just from this meeting, not just from the past few months of chaos, from years of carrying a relationship that was dead long before I caught her cheating. Emily was officially a ghost. A lingering shadow of a mistake I had long since outgrown. And she knew it, too. There were no more texts. No more calls. No more last-ditch attempts to weasel her way back into my life. That cafe meeting had been her final gamble, and when she saw my eyes, saw how completely indifferent I was, she knew she had lost. For good. Rebuilding myself. The funny thing about leaving behind a toxic person is that you don't realize how much space they took up in your mind, until they're gone. For the first time in years, I started focusing on myself. I rebuilt my habits, my routines, my life. I got back into boxing. The feeling of hitting a bag, the rhythmic sound of gloves slamming against leather, it grounded me. Made me feel in control again. I upgraded my life. New wardrobe, new car, new home office setup that actually felt like mine. Little things that reminded me I wasn't living in her shadow anymore. And yeah, I started dating again. Nothing serious at first, just casual conversations, meeting new people, rediscovering what it felt like to be appreciated. No trust issues. No paranoia. No hidden motives. For the first time in a long damn time, I felt free. Emily's downfall, the final update. Months passed. Life moved on. And then, out of nowhere, I got the final update on Emily. It came from Madison, her old coworker. Madison, you're gonna wanna hear this. I raised an eyebrow, leaning back in my chair. What's up? Madison, Emily got fired. It's bad. I smirked. For what? Being a terrible human? Madison, close. She got caught stealing from the company. Some shady expense reports. They called her in, gave her a chance to explain, and she completely lost it. Started screaming at HR, said they were out to get her. Security had to escort her out. I burst out laughing. It was too perfect. She thought she was untouchable. That she could lie, manipulate, cheat her way through life forever. But reality? It finally caught up to her. She had lost everything. Her husband? Gone. Her lover? Dumped her. Her reputation? Destroyed. Her job? Terminated. All that was left was the wreckage of the life she had ruined with her own hands. My last thought about her. I stared at the message for a long moment. Then, I smiled. Not out of malice. Not out of revenge. Just satisfaction. She got exactly what she deserved. And me? I had never been better. I moved on. I thrived. I won. Emily Dawson? She was just a name I used to know. And that was the last time I ever thought about her.